Oh man, the Cleric from Dark Souls 2 sucks. You have like 3 lightning spears and they do jack shit damage.
Are you ready for a miracle? Praise I can make. Are you ready for a miracle? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Today I'll show you how you can become a disciple of God, a devoted Christian whose faith moves mountains. Now, it is true that the starting Cleric in Dark Souls 2 is pretty underwhelming, especially if you compare it to the first game where you have 10 lightning spears right from the get-go that one-shot enemies and basically turns the game into a cakewalk. This used to be the case for Dark Souls 2, but they nerfed this shit into the ground and now you only have 3 lightning spears that can only tickle the enemies and take 3 hours to cast. And this is all because of a man called Darkside Phil.
Wait a minute, I can kill him from here. Are you serious? I could cheat. Oh my god, look at this. How cheap is this? I didn't have lightning back then. Oh no! Oh no!
Even if you upgrade your starting Cleric Chime, the damage is pitiful considering how many casts you have. The Cleric only starts to see some of the heavens grace by the mid to late game. Once you reach Drangleic, Licia will sell you an unlimited amount of lightning spears, and farther into the game you can get more copies of the Great Lightning Spear, a miracle that's just like the lightning spear, but it's great, meaning you can have even more casts of both great and regular lightning spear than in the first game. Also, the lightning fusion is one of the better ones since most enemies are weak to it. Another advantage of being a devoted Christian, but as it stands, the Cleric is pretty weak in the early game, and that's why today I'll show you how you can become a powerful disciple of God in just 30 minutes. So of course I'm starting with the Cleric class and my chosen gift is the Bonfire Ascetic, which I'm actually going to be using in this run. The first thing I did after reaching Majula was looting the place. I picked up some souls, some Homer bones, and the Titanite shard from Maulin's shop. Then I make my way to Hade's Tower of Flame. The vista of this area is phenomenal, and we can appreciate it while dodging every single enemy in the area. Now, if you are a naughty boy who likes to use glitches and cheese strats, you already know what I'm going to do, right? Basically, you have to stand dead on your tracks and wait for when Dragon Rider is about to step on this line. Some people like to count his steps, but for me a visual cue is more consistent. When he lifts his right foot, or the foot that's on our left, that's the time to run. I actually did it too early here and it almost didn't work. But I'm a Cleric and my lord is by my side, and Dragon Rider fell, and since he can swing, we get all of his souls. Now we need to talk to our new friend, soon to be traitor, Licia. We're not going to buy the lightning spear from her just yet, but we need to exhaust her dialogue to make her move her saint ass to Majula. Back at Majula, I'll talk to Cutie Kitty Shalqua, and before you call me crazy for talking to a cat, she sells alluring skulls, an item that distract enemies, but just the dumb ones. And since this is Dark Souls 2 and enemies are extra aggressive, this is going to be useful to deal with some mobs later. Now we can make our way to the Forest of the Fallen Giants, and the first use of the alluring skill is by this door to distract this annoying hollow that attempts to ambush you. And to be honest, it would have been better to just kill him, but whatever. Now I'm going to spend 10,000 souls at Melentia so she can give me the covetous silver serpent ring +1. I did some math and this will grant us more souls on the long run. I'll buy 1 soul arrow and you'll understand why later, the blacksmith key, the Pharaoh's lockstone, and 18 fire bombs, and then I'll talk to Melentia so she can give us the ring. Now let's explode this wall by aiming at the ground to throw a firebomb. I'll go straight to the boss, ignoring every single enemy. I'll throw an alluring skill over here because these spear hollows, well, you don't fuck with them. I'll use the downtime from the lift to pop some of the many souls I picked up, and now it's time for the last giant boss fight. He's pretty easy, the mace is a pretty good weapon. I did get get hit like 2 times, but it was no big deal. Back at the lift, I'll heal myself and pop some more souls, and now we're ready to face the Pursuer. You probably already know about this, but there's a pretty easy way to cheese the Pursuer using the Ballista. You have to first stand over here by this barrel and wait for his attack. When he does it, roll away and run to the Ballista, then all you have to do is shoot 2 bolts at him back to back. He gives us the Ring of Blades that we are equipping right now. Be aware though, if you're going to use this method and you miss, and then you quit and reload your game to try again, the spawn position of the Pursuer changes, so you might have to go all the way back to the bonfire to try again. Now we've reached the Lost Bastille. Let's pick up the dull ember so we can speak to the most asshole blacksmith from the series. And now I'm gonna go over this ledge to pick up the large titanite shard. There's also another large titanite shard above Lucatile that I'm picking up. I'm going to kill this mummy using fire bombs. Be careful in this part because things can go south really fast here because of the exploding barrels, and these mummies are kamikazes or kamikazes. I'll throw a firebomb at this other mummy to move him out of the way, and then I'll pick up the gold pine resin that I'm actually going to use later. Now it's time for the hardest part of the entire run. This fucking barrel. Luckily I was able to make it hit the wall, but if it doesn't explode you can just throw a firebomb that will do the trick. Worst that can happen is the dogs destroying the barrel, making you have to use a hammer bone to go back to the bonfire because your character can walk up a dense step. Now I'm going to burn a bonfire ascetic in the Cardinal Tower bonfire. The reason for this is because I'll kill both the last giant and the Pursuer in NG+ to get extra souls. There are also some titanite chunks in this area that are only available in NG+, and those will be useful to kill the last giant again since his HP is inflated. This chest is a trap, so be careful. I'll use the Pharaoh's Lockstone I bought earlier to get the Chlorantine ring and the titanite slab, and then I'll throw some alluring skulls to distract these enemies since they can easily kill me because we're in NG+, and I didn't upgrade my weapon, which I'm going to do right now. I just need to pick up the large titanite shard and the life ring that are inside this chest. Back at the Lost Bastille, I'll lit these counts to move the blacksmith out of the way so I can pick up the twinkling titanite that he's sitting on. I'll also grab the necessary stones from these chests. I love Dark Souls 2 because the game just gives stuff away all the time. I'm going to buy one large titanite shard for 2.5k from the blacksmith so I can reinforce my mace up to +8. Now that's a heavy hitting mace, isn't it? Now we're ready for NG+. This time I'll take the shortcut because it's faster. I'll use the pine resin while I'm at the lift. You can do this without worries because the buff lasts for a long time. And now we're fighting last giant once again. There isn't much to talk about in this fight. I got hit there and luckily it wasn't a hit kill, but other than that it went pretty smoothly. Now we can proceed to the Pursuer so we can cheese the poor guy again. The only difference is that this time we have to hit him 3 times instead of just 2, and once that's done I'll use a Homeward Bone and then I'll warp back to Majula. Remember, killing the bosses in NG+ also grants you an additional soul item, so that's even more souls we can acquire. I'll talk to our waifu Shanalot so we can level up intelligence to 10 and faith to 45. Now I know what you're thinking, why the hell am I leveling up intelligence? I'm a devoted Christian, I'm supposed to be dumb and only have faith by my side, but I promise you I'll explain it in a bit. It's the same reason why we bought a soul arrow from Melancha. I'll go to the blacksmith shop to pick up the bow that's inside this chest, and then I'll talk to Kitty Shalqua once again to buy the silver cat ring. Believe it or not, it's not to go down the pit. Finally, we're going to talk to our friend soon to be traitor Alicia to buy the lightning spear for 6,000 souls. And I also talk to her so she can give me her set, which she does once you reach 30 faith. She also gives us the Idol's Chime, which believe it or not kinda sucks for miracles, it's more for hexes, but her hood has a special property that gives you additional spell usage, which is very useful because instead of just 3 lightning spears, we have 4. And now you understand why I level up intelligence and bought a soul arrow earlier. I'm going to show you how to perform the greatest glitch in the game, the attunement glitch. This glitch allows you to transfer the usage granted from one spell to another. In this case, we're giving the 30 uses of the soul arrow to the lightning spear. To perform this glitch, you need a mouse, meaning you have to be playing the PC version. However, there's a way to do it on consoles, and I'll show you how to do that in a bit. For now, what you have to do is attune the lightning spear as normal, travel to another bonfire while your cursor hovers any location. As soon as you confirm the travel, left click and then right click. This will prompt the back option. Click at it to go back to the bonfire menu. Go to attune spells again and hover your cursor over the soul arrow. You have to click it at the last moment before the loading screen appears. If you hear or see that the spell was swapped, then it didn't work. But don't worry, the timing is pretty generous. For some reason my screen blinks when I travel, so I usually pay attention to that for the moment to click. If done correctly, you'll have 30 lightning spears, hell yeah, and this persists even after you die. You will only have to do this glitch again if you quit and reload your game, or if you switch spells in the attunement menu. Be aware that if you don't have the necessary stats to use the spell you're using for the glitch, it will not work. That's why I had to level up intelligence, because the soul arrow requires 10 to use it, but you don't have to do that. There are pyromancies and other miracles that have about 10 to 12 casts that you can use for this glitch without having to level up an useless stat. It's not as good as 30 casts, but it's still pretty good. Before moving on, let me show how you can perform this glitch on consoles. I'm not on a console right now, but I'll perform this glitch without using the mouse, so it should work on consoles. I'll also leave a link in the description of someone doing this on a PS4. You can only do this in the first bonfire from Iron Keep. You have to rest at it close to the lava. This will kill you while you have the attunement menu open. All you have to do is confirm the switch to the other spell as soon as the loading screen appears. It's the same thing as before. If you saw the spell swapping, then it didn't work. The timing is generous, so you're not going to have much trouble doing it. I got it on my second try. The only issue is that you have to die to do this every time, but this is Dark Souls 2, you'll die regardless. Alright, now I'll perform a skip called the Giant Lord Skip, so I can get 2 Twinkling Titanite and 1 Fragrant Branch of Yore earlier than intended. I explained how to do this on my previous video. I'll leave the timestamp in the description so I don't have to explain this again. Just make sure you'll be able to survive this fall by having enough vigor or by wearing the Soul Cat ring. Now that I have the Fragrant Branch of Yore, our next step is Shaded Woods, so we can get the best Chime in the game for our build, as well as some additional souls to level up to 50 fate. The Misty area is pretty easy, just make sure you're glued to the left wall that you'll never get lost. Now that I've reached the bonfire, I will collect 5 souls of brave warriors that are scattered around Shaded Woods, for a total of 25,000 souls. This is going to be very useful to level up later. Unfortunately, piece of shit Forlorn invaded me. It's like a tradition for him to invade me in this area when I am recording. It also happened in my previous Dark Souls 2 video. I first quit the game right after killing the Crystal Lizard. That lizard drops a bolt stone that we're going to use to infuse our chime so it can do even more lightning damage. Our chime of choice is the Dragon Chime. It's dropped by this old man on a wheelchair. Yes, we're going to kill a crippled person to get this item. It's not a very Christian thing to do, but it's the only way for us to get closer to our Lord. You can also get it by maxing out his covenant after defeating the secret boss Dark Lurker, but you can only do that by meeting him at 3 locations, and one of them is in Drangleic. By all means, don't do this if you plan on doing the covenant, otherwise this is the best chime in the game that you can get very early on. The problem is that it requires 50 fate to use, so yeah, you really have to devote yourself to our Lord if you want to use this thing. Think about it this way, you're putting this old man out of his misery, so this is a good act that you're doing. Back at Majula, I'll use all of the souls that I have to level up to 49 fate. That's because Licious Hood grants a +1 bonus to my fate score. Remember what I said about the spell swap thing not lasting if you quit the game? Since I first quit it because of motherfucking Forlorn, I had to perform the glitch again to have all 30 lightning spears. Now I'll go to Macduff's to upgrade the Dragon Chime and infuse it with lightning. And there you have it, a powerful cleric early in the game with the best chime and plenty of lightning spears, and this only took me 30 minutes. Now I know what you're thinking, it sucks that we have to use glitches to make this viable, but the idea is that once you reach Drangleic, you don't have to use these glitches anymore because you have plenty of spell copies to attune. But even then, let me give you some alternatives. After all, if you're on a console, you're not gonna be able to perform this glitch until reaching Iron Keep. In Earthen Peak, you can find another lightning spears, and with Licious Hood, you have a total of 8 lightning spears, 10 if you have a total of 26 attunement, and if this isn't enough, you can go to the Black Gulch, kill the 2 giants in the cave underneath to drop the Forgotten Key, which you can use to open the door from the pit in Majula. Inside it, there's a chest containing the Great Lightning Spears, also with 4 casts, meaning you have a total of 12 to 14 casts, and this is Dark Souls 2. There's a lot of items that restore spell uses that can be bought from various merchants and can also be farmed from enemies in the early areas, like the mummies from the Lost Bastille or the desert sorcerers from Harvest Valley. Now, this cleric is already pretty good, but there are ways to make it even better, and this is going to be your homework. First, kill the Dragon Slayer from China so you can talk to this NPC who sells you some very useful stuff. Oh hey man, when you resisted lightning, I guess the golden days are over, huh? You're really not that intimidating without your big brother.
Being, this is no place. Be gone.
Oh yeah, this asshole won't talk to me unless I have an item that you can get in Husband Corpse. I've died so many times attempting this jump just to find out you can just run over it. That's it, just run. Now that he's our friend and we join his secret club, we can buy the Heavenly Thunder. This miracle is amazing and can do massive damage. It's kinda random, but when it works, it fucking works. This guy also sells unlimited bolt stones for 7k a piece, so I recommend infusing whatever melee you're using. Finally, you can upgrade the Dragon Chime to +5 by getting additional Twinkling Titanite, but I'm not gonna show you how to do that. I'm not gonna hold your hand through the entire game. You already have a pretty good cleric build. Go play the game, and this is what I'm going to do right now. Let's try this out. Unleash the Thunder. Yeah, look at that damage, bro. It's pretty, ouch. It's pretty good. Let's do it again. And 2 casts was enough to kill the Sentinel. Now it's your turn. Let's throw some lightning spears. And we already bring the Sentinel to half health, less than half health actually. Now we can just finish with the Heavenly Thunder. Except if we miss every single shot, but it's okay, it's alright. Ouch! We can finish with the lightning spears, alright. You can see that the Heavenly Thunder really is a hit or miss spell, literally. Okay, let's try again. And okay, this time we got 2 hits, which is already enough to bring the Sentinel to half health, and now we can finish with the lightning spears. Ladies and gentlemen, the Heavenly Thunder. Oh hey man, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna take half of your health before you can even do anything. And now I can finish with the Thunder, yeah. Alright. Okay, now let's do the Quilag knockoff. The secret is to stand by her tail, so you can bait one of her tail attacks, which are very easy to dodge and make her vulnerable for a long time. As you can see, we just spammed Heavenly Thunder and it was enough to almost kill her, and we finish her with the lightning spears. Alright, now unleash the Thunder, yeah. And now unleash the Thunder again, of course. This gang fight is nothing with my thunders. Ouch! I just bought the best set in the game, and now I'm gonna pick up this item, and then I'm gonna heal myself, and then I'll fight the... Okay, I'm the first person in the world to ever fall for that. Alright, let's do Maitha, the Baneful Queen. Do some Heavenly Thunder, then a Lightning Spear, then we dodge, and do another Great Lightning Spear, and another one, and it broke her poise, and now another one, and we're done. Now let's do the Smelter Demon. We already did some pretty good damage with the Heavenly Thunder, and now we can just finish him off with the Great Lightning Spear. Ouch! You motherfucker! Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and I see you guys next time.